How to be a good singer. How to be a good singer, you should be taking care of your voice. You should be trying new things. You should be listening to other artists. Being a good singer is in the eye of the beholder, meaning you should love the sound of your voice. And if you don't, if you find limitations within your voice, you should seek to be free from those limitations. So being a good singer means that you enjoy singing, you love the way you sound, and you sing often. And you don't let things like negative opinions, insecurity, fear get in the way of your singing. Being a good singer means being brave, constantly growing. That's what I would say being a good singer is. How to find your true singing voice. Someone's true singing voice comes from their desire to share the way that God made them, the way that they perceive the world, the things that they're passionate about. If you write your own songs, that's a really good way to find your true singing voice. Or gravitate towards certain artists. That's a really good way to find your true singing voice. I really don't mind when people mimic artists that they love, because that's really just showing their personal preference, which I believe is their truth and their authenticity. So you can be authentic even when you are trying to sound like someone else, if you love the way that person sounds, because no two voices are alike. Voice is like a fingerprint. And when you take that fingerprint and you impress it upon your environment, in your circles, and within your artistic outlets, that's how you make your impression on the world around you. Voice cracking when singing. So the voice cracks when we sing because the vocal folds separate, which releases that vibration to just an open channel in our throat, and the vibration stops. So in order to keep the vibrations going in a smooth fashion, you have to have vocal fold contact, and that vocal fold density needs to maintain strong. So you have to strengthen the vocal fold and you have to lengthen the vocal fold. And you do so by understanding how to maintain vocal fold seal and contact while maintaining vocal fold length. So you increase the pitch as you strengthen the vocal folds. And I have specific targeted exercise for not only vocal fold coordination, which is connecting the folds from top to bottom, but also vocal fold stretches that help you maintain the squeeze of the CT muscle in a way that gets you singing stronger, higher pitches. Voice exercise to sing high pitch note without strain. So if I were just to give a voice exercise to sing a high pitch note without strain, it would be to access that higher note within a different sound. So instead of thinking I'm singing, I'm going to tell my voice I'm making a noise. And when you say you're making a noise, you can do a lot of crazy things. So for example, if I'm saying meow like a cat on the pitch D5, it's going to sound like this. Meow! But if I were to say sing the note, sing Broadway on that note, Broadway! Some people might have a really hard time singing that word as opposed to making a sound. So you have to trick the brain into making a sound that manifests the connection in the vocal folds and the stretch in the vocal folds in a really natural way, like a meow or a baby cry. Things that actually change the structure of the vocal fold without making the brain think that it's singing, because automatically you're going to go back to old habits of structural change, like compensating with vocal fold gaps, separation, textures that you think are singing appropriate. But meows and baby cries and vocal fries and all sorts of engine revs and things that I teach my students helps them attack higher pitches without bringing in the old functions of the singing apparatus. How to improve breath control when singing a song. You improve your breath control when you're singing a song by making sure your posture is good, making sure you have space for your diaphragm to function, making sure when you take in a deep breath, it's actually filling the back space of your thoracic cavity. Make sure you're not dropping your sternum, and making sure that you are not taking shallow breaths. And what I mean by shallow breaths is those kind of breaths where you know you're not actually feeling any kind of movement in your lower torso. You're only feeling movement in your upper torso. That's fine for speaking, but real good breathing when you're singing should make up most of your entire thoracic cavity. So you should be able to get a full breath when you are shoulders back, clavicle open, thoracic cavity expanding into the back of you, not just the front or the top. And then after all of that, you should be creating great vocal fold resistance over the air leaving your body, which will leave you with longer breaths, because basically you'll be breathing so efficiently that it doesn't even matter as much how much air you intake, as opposed to how much you're letting leave. So it's a little bit more about policing the exhale as opposed to policing the inhale. I'm going to stop here.